In this video, we are going to work on the 11 key scenes and the beginnings of subplots. So when you go in here, you're going to see mode for auto-generate my own. These are actually for the subplots prompt. Auto-generate is the prompt will go out and create subplots for you, and my own is you already have some ideas, but we're actually going to start with key scenes. But you can select anything because you can change it when we get to that prompt anyway. But we've been pretty lucky with Mistral. So now we're selecting the key scenes. And the 11 key scenes are scenes that almost every plot structure has, or experts recommend, are in any story, especially those that are character driven. Probably one of the most famous is the Save the Cat scene from the Save the Cat scene beat structure. But it's going to go and look at our plot outline number 2 and see if it can find scenes that already fit these 11 scenes, and then it's going to suggest some alternatives that might actually be better than what we've come up with. Like every other prompt, we're going to save it to a snippet. For editing, so just the example. So yeah, our first scene, the hook of the story, the original, is here, and then the alternative basically is a slight rewrite of the first one. Here's your Save the Cat beat. So that's basically a moment early in the story where we see the good guy do something nice for somebody, so we know, hey, that's the good guy. I don't know that this is exactly what you would consider a Save the Cat moment, but so here we go. Yeah, his family's going through financial struggles, and there you go. Child prodigy creates a groundbreaking app, earns him a scholarship. That's actually a pretty good one. What do we got here? Raphael notices a group of bullies, or something like this. Yeah, using his, I would say using his years of experience. I mean, the guy who used to be Alexander the Great, he is a military genius, so taking on a bully should be easy, but that's actually a pretty good one. That's even better. But we haven't looked at alternative 3 yet. Public school faces a crisis. An outdated computer system fails. Yeah, there we go. IT superhero. But yeah, you can see you go through here and you look at what you've already created and see if there's something maybe a little bit better or something you can kit bash. But yeah, I will probably go through and off screen and pick some of these to make them better. But then what you do is once you've selected one of each of these, save it to note 14511 key scenes, because then when we create plot outline number 3, it's going to take these scenes and then use them to replace what's already in plot outline number 2. But now, for the sake of time, we'll go ahead and close this. And we'll go back to planning, 415. And I'm going to go with auto-generate for the first one. Let's give Croc a chance. So subplots, suggest different subplots to improve the story. And we've set it to auto-generate. But if we had set it to my own, then it's going to ask you, okay, well, is it in a snippet? Is it a codex entry? In there, did we? Well, that's where we're going to put them. If you'd actually created a subplot here, where you just, early on you decided, yeah, I got to have a subplot where this character and this character does a thing together, and so you would tell it subplot 1, and then it would work with you to expand on subplot 1. But we want to go with auto-generate, so it generates 10 subplots based on some predefined instructions. Before we proceed, I have some questions. You mentioned suggesting 3 subplots. Yeah, these are more important questions. Any specific themes, tones, or constraints? Any preferences, how they intersect? So I'm going to give it the old proceed. Don't ask me more questions, just do it. Yeah, see, that good old grok. It's like, I don't know who these are, but I'm going to create things because I actually know who they are. Subplots, moral dilemma with Raphael, ally to adversary. So much like the 11 key scenes, what you do is go through and find any subplots you're interested in, delete the ones you're not interested in, and then everything goes to note 146 subplots, because in the next set of prompts we're actually going to, again, just like the 11 key scenes, we're going to fold these into the existing plot outline number 2 to create plot outline 3. So I will go ahead and clean up both of these off screen, and then we'll come back and do the next set of prompts. So just like we do with plots, for our subplots, which are, mini stories in and of themselves, there is a Drunken Critic to give us honest feedback on our subplot ideas. So we will choose him. I've cleaned up the snippet and chose 4 subplots that I might want to use in the story. Had to go through and renumber them. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then I added these divider lines just to make it easier to identify them. So now we'll run the Drunken Subplot Critic and see what it thinks of those 4 subplot ideas, so we can find ways to make them even better. So now we actually have, ideally, some better subplots. And as it states with all drunken ones, you start a new chat session so that it doesn't spill over into other. But at this point, that's the end of this group of prompts. I'll go ahead and clean up the subplots and the 11 key scenes, and then we will start working on creating plot outline number 3. With our improved 11 key scenes and basic subplot ideas, it's time to move on to creating plot outline number 3. And Mistral's been good to us so far. So we select the first one, first prompt, plot outline 3. Going to tweak and generate, see if there's anything we need to do. So it brings in the 11 key scenes and plot outline 2. Reminds us of anything we need to do, but we will type begin. We can see it's already implemented Save the Cat Alternative 2, which is the one I chose. So Mistral Medium was running a little bit slow, so I went ahead and paused the recording of the video, but after about 5 minutes it's finished up. And you can see that the final word count is 6,649, and it started with 6,471. So it really only added about 200 words, because the replacements or the alternatives to the 11 key scenes were either about the same length or just slightly longer. But the next thing we want to do is, while we are, well, first, save a snippet, just in case. because we are going to want to go in and clean up these headers like revised scene. But what we want to do now, yeah, even though Mistral Medium was a little bit slow, Grok is really fast, but I found Grok has a tendency, it would get to chapter 11 or 12 and then just put a thing going, and it continues on from here in the same format. And then you would have to go in and manually tell it, continue from, chapter 11 until you get to the end. But what we want to do is, although it's done it verbatim, and yeah, we can tell from the word count that it should have gotten everything. As we've learned with previous error checks, sometimes it actually provides some good information that has nothing to do with whether it omitted information or not. Well, yeah, it's complaining. Yeah, there's not enough information about the setting. Yeah, well, I saw that as well. It's like there's a single paragraph. He stood up to some bullies. Okay, but again, that's what the scene beat completion prompt is for. Yeah, so we can see here that it's not just looking for omitted stuff, it's also doing a structural check and some developmental checks. So there's actually a lot of good information in here. Well structured and compelling. Gee. You already said well structured and compelling. Now you're repeating yourself. But as with everything, we would save this to a snippet. Because I'm not really developing this story, I'm going to skip that step and go in and clean up our plot outline, or actually, yeah, not that, clean up this, and then copy it to plot outline 3 so that we can do our good friend the Drunken plot critic. So I'll do that off screen and come back. Time for the critic to weigh in on our new plot outline 3. So we start a new chat session to make sure we've got a fresh start. And let's give 04 Mini a shot. That was fast. Very sparse, but ooh. Yeah, some of that. Yep, so this is another instance of save it as a snippet. To mine for any updates or any revisions we can make to plot outline 3 to make it better. As it says here, start a new chat session so they're not all drunk. And don't need that. We haven't used that one. It's usually slow, but our final prompt is plot outline network. So it's going to, I think it's going to look at the plot outline for 6 pivotal moments and then generate AI image generation prompts. So it took Minimax M1 about 4 minutes to think and then come up with 6 prompts. But yeah, if you're into AI art generation, you can take these and probably with a little bit of tweaking get them to work in just about any AI art image generator. But that concludes the prompts in this mega prompt. Stick around for the next video where we're getting to the 2 different subplot outliners, and I'm really excited to show these off because they do some amazing work. So, see you in the next video. If you have any questions, I highly recommend joining the Novel Crafter Discord. Thanks for watching and keep writing. Future readers are waiting for your stories.